Hey soldiers, today we're going to talk about Webull. I know that they do a lot of advertising here on YouTube. We're going to look at some of the aspects of this app that can help you build wealth. And there is one particular feature that Webull has that I think is the absolute most value for many beginning investors. And we're going to go through that in just a few minutes here. And I just think this particular aspect of the app is the one that's going to wind up helping people possibly the absolute most. All right. So Webull, their big claim to fame is that you can get started investing with them in a very, very easy way. Now, a lot of these apps have really democratized investing even further than it had been already. I know that when I was coming up, we were just ending that period where, investing was something that you really couldn't understand how to get into that easily because we didn't have the internet and, there was some confusion around whether or not you had to buy a round lot or not. Who did you even go to say, hey, I want to buy shares of AT&T? Now, understand. This is coming from the perspective of a guy who grew up in the hood in West Baltimore. Okay, so financial literacy wasn't just coming out of the woodwork. We didn't sit down at the dinner table and talk about these things. So it was a big mystery. And when I say around lot, understand that at some point in the past, what you had to do if you wanted to buy stocks was you had to buy them in lots of 100. So naturally, this made it prohibitively expensive for most people. A round lot of a stock, for example, that cost, let's say that it was $10 a share. Or more appropriately, let's give it $100 a share, okay? Reputable stock like an AT&T or something like that back in the day. $100 a share, if you had to buy a round lot of a stock that cost $100 a share, then you had to come up with $10,000 if the requirement was to buy a round lot. Now, of course, that favored folk that were well-heeled. But at some point, these companies decided, hey, we'll take anybody's money. And that round lot requirement started to fall by the wayside. So now, jump up back to the future, and we've got services like Webull that are offering fractional share purchases where you don't even have to buy one whole share. You can buy a fraction of a share. Now, Webull, you got to be careful because you can get yourself in trouble if you are a new investor or if you're a seasoned investor that, adheres to a long-term buy and hold strategy, okay? Or type of person who really doesn't invest in stocks but invest in mutual funds or ETFs, all right, exchange traded funds. You can get yourself into trouble with some of Webull's features. Now, of course, from the standpoint of buying stocks, they allow you to invest in thousands of companies. And you can also invest via fractional shares with as little as $5, okay? Creating your own financial portfolio. They've got the tools there to help you map all that out. And again, this is the Soldiers of Finance channel. We advocate a long-term strategy, okay, in the mold of Warren Buffett, Ben Graham, okay, buy and hold. Now, the reason that I like that strategy, and you can do whatever you want. I'm just telling you what, I'm a fan of. But after you do your due diligence, you can do what you want, but I like the buy and hold strategy because it takes advantage of our most valuable non-renewable resource. It puts it to work for us, and that is time. Okay, so if you have a dollar cost average strategy, so you are investing regularly at regular intervals, okay? Let's say once a week. You're putting away $50 once a week. Over time, no matter what happens, no matter what they report on the news, okay, anything short of a extinction level event, you're going to put that money in every week. So you're going to put it in when the market's up and when the market's down. And over time, you're going to be able, because of that discipline, to have purchased more, okay, at a cost that is dollar cost averaged out. So you're not going to buy at the absolute peaks. Remember, many investors have an investment psychology that is antithetical to their best interest. They get excited when the media comes out and talks about the market at a high. Okay? They would not do that if Walmart, some retailer or car dealer came on television and said, hey, these cars are going for the highest they've ever gone for in terms of price. Come on down and buy one. You wouldn't do that. But many people do just that when it comes to the stock market. Okay? And remember, what you want to do is buy low and eventually sell at a higher price. So if you invest in quality companies and do your due diligence to make sure they've got good, solid products and, a lot of other variables that you need to look into to evaluate that stock fundamentally, then over time, when you're ready to trade in some of those shares or maybe give them to your heirs, they're trading at a higher price. Also, remember, if the stock pays a dividend, you're basically getting paid to own the stock. Now, I got to tell you, if you are getting a dividend paying stock, even if you reinvest those dividends, which is something I like because it buys more shares, right? But even if you do that, just keep in mind that is a taxable event unless it is held inside of a qualified account. All right, so that's one of the aspects that Webull helps you do, helps you buy stocks. In fact, they have a promotion, and the promotion right now, and this is as of January 24th, 2023, they have a promotion where you can get 12 free stocks, okay? Now, whenever you're watching this, you have to check and make sure what the promotion is and what the terms are at the time you may be interested in taking a look at Webull. And listen, I know people hate to do it, but you're going to have to read the terms and conditions so you know what you're getting into. Just grab a cup of coffee or your favorite beverage. As long as it's not alcoholic, you got to understand what you're reading. You can't forget about it the next morning. And you don't want to be under any kind of duress or influence when you are signing up for anything at all, let alone something dealing with your money. So take a nice cup of coffee or sparkling water or what have you. Read through the terms and conditions. Now, I will say this for Webull. They are offering these 12 free stocks, and one might think 12 free stocks. Come on, man. They're going to give, they're going to provide you with some pink sheet penny stock garbage that's never going to amount to anything. But that's not the case. In fact, what they're going to do is they have an algorithm that randomly selects stocks, okay, that they're going to give you for signing up, okay? The 12 free stocks are going to be randomly selected using their algorithm. However, they're going to be selected from New York Stock Exchange or NASDAQ listed companies, okay, at random. Now, this is something they're giving you as a promotional item. So you're not doing any due diligence on it because they're giving it to you, right? But you're not doing any due diligence on it up front because it's a gift, pretty much. It's a promotion. But you might want to, when they give you these stocks, you definitely want to do due diligence on it so that you can decide whether or not it's worth putting more money into the stocks that Webull has given you in the promotion. So that's a good thing. You are going to get reputable companies. And in order to take advantage of the promotion, you have to open an account. And once you do that, you'll get 2 free fractional shares. And then once you deposit at least $100, you'll get up to 10 additional free fractional shares. All right. So you're going to get fractional shares. That's what they're going to give you for signing up. And they're going to be NASDAQ or New York Stock Exchange listed companies, which, okay, they're on major exchanges, which is important because should you want to buy more or sell them at some point, that's made a whole lot easier because it's on a reputable big board exchange. Now, let's get into some of the more esoteric offerings that Webull has. Options, that's what's called a derivative. Okay, that's a derivative of a stock. And I'm going to tell you right now, you got to know what you're doing to trade options. Okay? Is it possible to make a lot of money off of options? Yep, it sure is. But guess what? It's possible to lose more than your investment trading options if it's done incorrectly. And remember, the first rule of making money is not to lose money. This is Warren Buffett's rule. And his second rule of making money is never to forget the first rule. Okay, so if you are at all uncomfortable about dealing in something like a derivative, you've got to really be very, very thoughtful about whether or not it's something you actually want to endeavor in. Because with certain types of derivatives, you could lose more than your initial investment. So you can lose more than 100%. Me, I don't like that idea. And also, when it comes to investing in stocks, and this is my personal philosophy, I like to research the companies, make sure they are solid companies based on a fundamental analysis. And then I like to go and after I've invested in them, I like to have that working for me, but then go out, perfect my business, buy some real estate maybe, and do other things while the stocks are working in the background. Okay, because remember, just from a standpoint of return on investment, the highest potential return is going to be from your own business. Okay, keep that in mind. And if you want to make your business a stock investment company, go for it. You just obviously have to know what you're doing. Webull also allows you to invest in exchange traded funds and also some over-the-counter options as well. But again, a lot of these may not have the liquidity that you would get from a stock listed on a major exchange, okay, like the NASDAQ or the New York Stock Exchange. And of course, it wouldn't be a modern day app if they didn't allow you to what they call diversify your holdings with crypto. Now, you guys know how I feel about cryptocurrency. I ain't touching it. All right. You've got to do your due diligence. For my money, I'm not getting into anything that's not backed by something. Okay. I like companies that have, they produce tangible assets or real world services. I like that. I like real estate. Okay. Where you can farm on it. You can rent it out to someone who wants to live there or someone who wants to do business there. You can get all kinds of tax breaks, profit from the appreciation. And I'm making any real estate anymore. And of course, I like running my own business. Now, some people will call me old fashioned, get with the times, Tyrone, but it ain't happening with regard to crypto. But Webull does offer that service. Now, I told you guys that I was going to tell you about what I thought Webull's most valuable service is. Webull has a paper trading component. Why is this important? Quite frankly, guys, because a lot of people think they're going to get into trading stocks. I'm not talking about investing long term. Trading is high frequency. You're actually taking advantage of minute differences in the value of a stock and trading in or out of that in order to take advantage of that difference. So I'll give you an example. You buy a share of stock for $100.10 at 12 noon. At 12:02, that stock is selling for $100.15. And you sell it. Now, let's say you owned 1,000 shares of that, whatever stock that was. It appreciated from $100.10 to $100.15. So it saw a 5-cent appreciation, just 5 cents. But because you owned $1,000 shares rather, you made $50. Now, yeah, okay, you made $50, but guess what? This is going to be treated as a short-term capital gain and taxed as such. So you're going to then have to do the math on that and subtract that amount from the $50. You're also going to have to subtract the whatever expenses you have running this operation, like maybe you have a super fast internet connection, okay, because you've got to have that in order to trade successfully. So this paper trading component allows you to act as if you have an amount of money invested and you're just basically operating in a simulated environment. You don't really have any money at risk in Webull's paper trading component. Okay. Now, I think this is valuable because it can either prove that you got what it takes, or it will quickly disavow you of any notion that trading is something that you can take lightly. All right. Maybe you find out that in this paper trading account, you get into it and, you're diligent about it. And 2 months down the road, you got maybe $10,000 in paper losses. You really haven't lost anything. It's all simulated. Or you got $10,000 in paper gains. Okay. Be careful, guys. Use this simulator if you go with Webull, because it will definitely enlighten you as to what trading is really all about. It is not all that, some might crack it up to be. So, Webull. Hey, look, you know what? I like this app. And it's not a sponsor. They're not paying me any money to say this. We're doing these reviews, and you guys know that I'm going to tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly as I see it. I like Webull for the free stocks as well as the fractional shares. I like that. So take a look at it and see if it can help you or someone you know. Share this video. Maybe someone you know could benefit from this. Now, if you're trying to go out and buy more assets, you're trying to figure out how you can get more money together to take advantage of a time in our history where assets are relatively low in comparison to where they have been, but you need some more money to do it. Even though you can buy fractional shares, we just went over how to do that. Take a look at Rocket Money. It could help you claw back more money that you can put into the purchase of assets. We got a review here, an honest review. Check it out and see if it can help you to buy more assets by keeping more of your money. Guys, I'll talk to you soon.